Today I'm going to bring you Britain's saddest boxing case in modern times, certainly in my opinion. Recently, cruiserweight champion of the world, Tony Bellew, has been calling for the juggernaut Joe Joyce to retire. The 40-year-old Joyce, the Huddersfield fighter from southwest London, according to Tony Bellew, is past his sell-by date and he has concerns for his health.
There's an accident waiting to happen. And bear in mind, I like Joe Joyce. I think the world of the lad, but he shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing ring. An interview came out before the fight, and it was taken down from social media immediately because the backlash it got. The interview lasted a couple of minutes, and Joe couldn't string more than a couple of sentences together.
Yes, this happened to many great heavyweights. It happened to Ali. Yeah, when I saying that the juggernaut's great heavyweight, but the boxer in question was a very good heavyweight as well. It happened to the great Ali, the greatest. People are calling for his retirement. And as an old saying in the fight game, it's the fighter himself is the last one to know actually when he's finished. It's people around him that should be advising, telling, etc. But the fighter I'm going to go to is from South London, and of course it's the Brixton Bomber, Danny Williams. Now, great fighter, Danny Williams. Yeah, when you say greatness, not Harley's greatness, but world title challenger. Let's focus on his career. Very good amateur, done very well in the ABAs. Went through it. He didn't represent in the Olympics or anything like that, but it was a good, seasoned national champion. And Danny Williams, yeah, turned professional and made a cracking start. I think he lost one of his first 29 fights to Julius Francis on points. What do we know about Danny Williams? He was just a fantastic fighter, wasn't he? He was just a natural warrior. He was against Mark Potter, to the only fighter to date, the late Mark Potter. He was getting beaten and he had dislocated shoulders, literally fighting with one arm, his right arm gone, and he pulled out a left hook. He's the only fighter to date to pull out a knockout punch in any fight of any significance on television, ever reported to pull out a punch.
He will not give up. He's got no defence, obviously, against the left hook. And still they clap in the corner. Yet they're clapping him forward. Oh, he's got it! That's unbelievable!
They don't pull Mark Potter out with that punch, who was on the edge of becoming British champion. So it was Williams who was British champion, European champion, and world title challenger. Now, we do know he didn't only pull that warrior move out on Mark Potter. We know that back in 2004, in the opposite corner, stood a menacing looking, now tattooed faced Iron Mike Tyson, 38-year-old, just come off, still a menacing man, just come off a hot win over Clifford Ethian, who was highly rated. And the Brixton Bomber went toe-to-toe with Tyson and done him, eventually taking some severe punches himself before overturning, Iron Mike Tyson.
He doesn't. He's trying to just end it on one punch right now. Williams knows it, and he throws combinations. He looks the sharper of the two and the fresher of the two. Right hand is about pushing him off. Out on Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, and he's having his way. Firing shots. Tyson in some difficulty. Carrying along the wall.
Best know it, that's what we're coming to. 38-year-old, still a mean fighter, but this is where we're going at with age and miles on the clock, etc. So he turns over Mike Tyson. A couple of fights later, he then gets a crack at Vitaly Klitschko for the heavyweight championship of the world, and down many times, but up brave. He said himself he felt like Klitschko had lumps of almost like an horseshoe in each glove. But the Brixton Bomber continued, getting up before the ref ordered the fight. I think it was around 9-10. But anyway, no shame in that. So he done everything. He done Commonwealth. I think he done Southern Area, Commonwealth, British, European, and a world title challenger. Everything except to come in winning the greatest prize on earth. But so what happens? He continues fighting, and then when you start seeing, if you look, there's fighters that he beats and then starts losing to, right? So there's some telltale signs here. He loses to Matt Skelton. He beats Matt Skelton and loses to Matt Skelton. He beats he beats then Michael Sprott and loses to Michael Sprott. Michael Sprott, an old friend, a great fighter himself, very good fighter out there, European champion. Yeah, so hello if you're out there, Michael. So you see, he's starting to just just turn a little bit in form. And this is way back, we're talking way back. So it continued. And in fact, it continued fighting. The British Border Control done what I call the right thing. So the Border Control takes his licence, our British Border Control. But I'm going to come to it in a minute. So he now starts fighting in Europe. But where I'm coming from, his form gets so bad, he fights Lee McAllister, who fought as a professional, as a welterweight. Come on. He then fights him on a 10-round unlicensed show. It couldn't be sanctioned by anybody. They tried to put a name and a tag to it. And Lee McAllister, who's either blown up in weight somewhere or another, still 4 stone lighter than Williams, who used to top the scales at around 17 and a half, 18 stone, sometimes 17. Did like his food, Williams. But anyway, he loses to a man. He could beat Mark Potter with one arm in desperation. All due respect to Lee McAllister, he'd have beaten him with one arm 7 days a week. But he continues fighting in and out of Europe, yeah, once he's stripped of his licence. But how we allowed it? It's got so bad, he actually said in the McAllister fight, he actually said, right, he's now fearful. He used to have the fear of nerves before going into a ring, yeah, and that is a fear, yeah, because I've done a bit after going into fights, right, that is a fear. It's terrible, but what makes you operate, yeah. But he's actually fearing not that. He's actually fearing that he was going to die. This tells me something consciously, the brain cells he has working here, consciously, subconsciously, he's fearing something's going wrong. But he continues fighting. And it's a pitiful state. His last fight was against Bishop Lijon, I think, from Cyprus, demolished in 1 round. Unbeaten, the fighter from Cyprus. He fights in Tallinn, the city of Tallinn where I've been, yeah, Eastern Europe, edging the Russian borders. He fights there, but he's fighting in front of no people. Have you watched the footage? It's pitiful to watch. I'd be frightened to hit the man. You know, I wouldn't want to hit the man. The man's been a great hard man. But he's fighting, almost people are fighting for, maybe for YouTube channels, maybe for sponsorship deals, for businessmen even, because some of these ain't professional fighters. They're trying to get names on the record to say that they've either fought him, or they wanted to fight him, or they've beaten him. And it's terrible. It's almost a lamb to the slaughter. Now, who are we to tell a man to stop boxing who wants to continue boxing? Well, you could arguably say that's his decision, but come on, you know, we all need some help with someone. Is it financial? I suspect, many people suspect, yes, some say no. They say it's just for him for the love of the game. But look, British Border Control do their bit, or have they done their bit? You know, we were in this European red tape when he was fighting way before the Brexit. We couldn't come in and put a European law and stop this man from fighting. For Christ's sake, this is dangerous. He's getting knocked out. Have a look at some of the footage. It's pitiful, pitiful, pitiful shame. Yeah? His last fight is 51-year-old against this fella. And in one fight, you can see he stops in the middle. And actually, look at the background. This is not COVID era. This is post-COVID. He's fighting with nobody there. As I say, it's just bragging rights, stunts. But it's allowed to happen. It's almost it's a blood situation. It's a blood money, or you know, it's no different to people going out to pay to go to kill things in Africa or whatever. But this is a human being, a man that's been a good servant to British boxing, and apparently a very nice fella. I don't know, Danny's boxed a couple of cousins of mine, stuff like that. But apparently a nice, decent fella. I know him from the television, and I wish him well. And who are we to tell him? Because you can say, well, hold on, I got in the ring, same age as Danny, 51, almost 52. What did I do? But hold on a minute. Listen, I am not past. I fought at a level. I've done my piece. I'm not past my sell-by date. Of course I'm past my sell-by date. I didn't mean that. What I mean is, I haven't got miles on the clock. I went back for 3 2-minute rounds. Why did that? Because I had double pneumonia, hospitalised with COVID, and I wanted to see if my body reacted. And it did react, and I was okay, but I haven't got miles on the clock. You can probably tell that by the way I'm talking. I don't claim to be Einstein, but I can string a few words together. But poor Danny Williams is getting worse and worse. Was he's lost his strength, or punch resistance, or reflexes? It's just not fun. But what I'm saying is, with the border control, all the promoters, all the rich promoters out there, and I don't mean to say give the guy some money, because you can give somebody who can't look after money. I mean, the heavyweight champions in the past have gone skint with gazillions of pounds. So we understand that. I'm not about giving them money, but we should have some sort of input where we keep them in the fight game, yeah, and at least have something there from the British Border Control for those rich promoters, for the money it's bringing in. We should have something there for the ex-warriors to keep them involved in the game. And I'm not on about chunks of money, some interest. Keep them in the promoting loop, keep them in the boxing loop, keep them in the training loop, keep them in the referee judge, keep them in it. Give them something to focus on. Bring on the youths, the underprivileged youth, or the ones in trouble. Give these guys a focus. We must be able to, like ex-jockeys and clubs and so on and so on is one of the sports, you know. I think there must be something better we can do. You cannot see a human being go out like that, because it's going to end in fatality, and whatever damage is done to the poor bloke, I hope it's not as much as I think, but on his boxing performance, this is blood, and whoever's promoting this is blood on their hands. We're over in the game of Earth. Come on. Who want to go up the road and punch an old 80-year-old man? I know Danny's not 80, but he's not able to defend himself anymore, mate. It's not there anymore. You know, you tell me, to me...
help fighters call it a day when we're all saying they should retire, when they're not winning anymore, like Joe Joyce, 4 losses out of his last 5, getting hit too much, and really worrying everyone around him. Listen to Tony.
Hope you're, as I say, I hope you're much better, and I suspect you may be, Danny, like when your boxing performance, but let's just live the rest of your life, mate, with your family. Please don't anybody allow him near a boxing ring. Yeah, and you're talking to an old man who's been in there. But in this fight game, there's levels, and there's also miles on the clock. Yeah, you see Big George at 45, 15, 20 years out. Rest. Old man, but look what he did. But he rested. He didn't continue to be battered. Not only in fights, in sparring. I knew that Williams was eyed for world champions for sparring. So what I'm saying is miles on the clock. Once you go at that game, you're gone. There's no coming back. When you lose your attributes of speed, punch resistance, it's over. It's gone. So to me, saddest modern case in British boxing. Why don't we do more? Hope we can learn from Danny, and let's keep him safe for the rest of his days. And give us your feedback and opinion. And in the meantime, you keep well.